Hi there and welcome to my channel. This is Kate at the Journalist in Australia and welcome. This is the premiere of a video called Kate Can't Stop Stitching because the reality is I absolutely can't. It's Friday night after a huge fantastic day and I thought no. And then I realized I can't stop. So welcome. I hope you are going to be able to share in some relaxing stitching as you are along this ride for me. I must admit, it's been a day of treasure collecting. We went to, this is Zoe's from the Green Door Studio. I'm going to call it Green Door on Tour. We went up to the Sewing Basket in Sydney. I've got a little collection of goodies, things that like this, oranges and pinks. I've got a new piece that I want to start with you today. I've got, first for me, this is a bit of old flannelette blanket that I found at an op shop. I've got some pink wool and I've got a tiny bit of embroidery. So I'm going to see what we can do with that this evening. Welcome to the weekend, those of you who are already there, and for those of us who are close to it, hang in there. Let's, let's have some joy. So as always, I say I can't help myself. So we're going to start with the thing that calms me down. You can hear the excitement in my voice. And thank you to the lovely subby who suggested that I thread some needles ahead because I need to do that. So I have found an additional treasure today that I'm going to work on in my Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. I'm just going to leave it at that over the weekend. And I'm thinking that I actually might incorporate some of these previous pieces that I have been working on and wondering what I'm going to use them for. I met a lady the other day who said, I can't start making something unless I know what I'm going to do with it. And I said, I'm probably the opposite. I start and then I figure out the purpose because the joy comes in the journey and the process for me. So always to get me inspired, I start with just some running stitch, in and out, up and down. And what better thing could there be after a busy day at work, busy day looking after the family, whatever you are doing. This is the most soothing thing that we can do. Welcome to my new subbies. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed and joined me on this journey. So I'm classing myself as eclectic and probably a naive sewer who literally has discovered this in recent months and now totally can't stop. I had so many laughs today. 13 of us went up to the Sewing Basket sale at Marrickville Town Hall, and yeah, again, just joy to see so many united in their love of making. So we giggled. I probably got a reputation for just grabbing things because they were all treasures, and I will share them with you as we go ahead. One of the conversations we had on the way up was that we know that short threads are very good, but many of us share a dislike of threading the needle too often. I need to do a shout out to my subby who suggested that I spare you all from threading in public, which I've tried to do at this point, and thread some in advance. So that's what we're doing here. So this is Kate's way of slowing down, being mindful, being present, and finding peace. And as I said, I wasn't planning to film, but I was going to stitch anyway because I can't stop stitching. So this is why I'm sharing it with you. So many of you are way more experienced than I, and I admit that. I am new. Well, I used to stitch all the time when I was little, but I haven't been able to do that because I've been prioritizing work for so many years, and now to actually have the freedom to balance, I still work, but to balance that with some stitching and journaling is, one of my friends said, you're living the life. And I said, well, actually, the life that means the most to me is that now that I've started to share this journey with others, it's the comments that come back and the friendships already being forged, both locally in our community and all the way across Australia, but also it's the good use of technology, isn't it? So I saw Rachel do this the other day, and I haven't done much, where you actually start, you've got your long running stitches, and then you start to what's the word? Go at 90 degrees. That's what I'll call it, 90 degrees. So as I've been stitching, I've got some ideas. So I'm going to actually not finish this thread on this piece of work. I'll just go under here. So all those, I'll just better check my light. Can you see that? Yeah, so it's nighttime and maybe it's not the best, but all these rows were going this way and now I'm going across there. So I'm just going to finish it off. This is the top layer made out of various pieces of fabric and doilies. I'm sewing it onto wool, and this will be lined. Well, depending what I do with it, it could be lined. If it was to be a pouch, or if it's going to become, hint, hint, something that goes on another box or container, it won't need to be lined. So we don't know that yet. I don't know what that is over there, so let's trim it. So that's been my settling and my creative time. I've gathered some threads here. I did a sewing course the other day and with Annie Holcomb, and she had these beautiful perle threads that were variegated, and I've been fortunate to find some of those at the sale. So and in fact in some op shops earlier in the week. So I've wound them ready, and I thought we might start a piece. It very much is a piece from scratch. I thought that was over. So this is the very beginning of a process of making a pouch, maybe for a journal, a just treasure pouch for things, I don't know. So there's my woolly blanket. Here is a fabric, and I'm deliberately, I think that's probably meant to be the right side, but I don't know. But I do like this side here. So I'm going to, oh, Zoe told me I must never put my needle down without tucking it into something, which is a good reminder. So this is probably 2/3 of the underlay that I have. That's my inspiration there. And I'm just thinking, this might seem absolutely crazy to you, but if I is it pick a pink tongue twister there. That's my tightness coming out. Let's think about, it may seem crazy, but it will work out in the end. So that's nicely at that crease I could tear. Beautiful light. I don't know whether this was originally napkin material or whatever it was intended for. And I don't need all of that bulk under there, so we might save that scrap. So let's just trim this here. Open that out, put that there, and then we can see how much else we need to pop off. So I think I want to feature these bits of pink, and then this will end up having some blues and yellows as well. So let's just overlap it a bit. Like that. And why don't we start our piecing together with this. Now you do note that I'm not using pins. That's not deliberate. It's just that I'm all over the place. I picked up a lot of bargains and I'm not sure where I'm going to fit them. I haven't even unpacked. But that is going to bring such joy. Okay, so the plan, and again, I'm sorry if my light isn't great, just still adjusting here. We had beautiful autumn, and then it's almost like overnight it's turned into winter. Beautiful days. Oh, sorry, squeaky table. So the joy of this is because I'm going into wool. It just goes so easily. And to be honest, I don't even worry too much about the connecting at this point because there'll be lots and lots of things over the top. Let's go this way. And I'll show you how quickly you can make a base layer. And note, this isn't even near the edge because I'm likely to put laces and doilies and all sorts of things over the edge. So really this is just absolutely freelance, naive. In the old days it would have even been called tacking. But I'm going to keep this as part of the character. So I'm thinking of you and what you're working on at the moment. Are you finishing a piece, finishing a project? And is that what the weekend brings excitement about, or starting a new one? Or like me, so overly excited about so many things that it is dependent on just what I feel like. I just can feel this relaxing me. And not that you need to feel relaxed after such an incredible day, but more so that joy of being home. Friend of mine said the other day, it's that idea of home as a sanctuary. And I said, yes, that's exactly it. There's nothing better than being home, surrounding yourself with the things that you love. And suddenly, rather than being tired, I feel like I could do this all night. Don't worry, I won't record for that long, but I'm sure you know what I feel like and what I mean by that. Okay, so just using all this thread, a few little puckers there, and because that's come unthreaded, I'm going to stop there and let's play with some of the ideas I had. One of the pieces that I found at the thrift shop quite a while ago was actually this. Now it's not on linen or anything, which is what I usually use under my embroideries, but these flowers I found absolutely irresistible. So I'm going to, and so it's, this would not even class as vintage because it's impossible to tell the age, but who can walk past? Just realised I haven't got any small scissors down here with me, but we will get through this. So I want to highlight this. Someone would probably describe this as applique. I'm sure mine's not the traditional applique because I'm not neat. And I suppose someone said how, sometimes you feel just very bold, and I go, maybe that's because I don't know the rules and haven't had to conform since primary school, that now I just know what I love and I follow my instinct. And when you're free to be you, and people getting sick of me, I'm sure, of saying that, but just do you. That's my encouragement. Okay, there's those two. And this is a flannelette sheet that I just, as I said, found in a new thrift shop that I went to for the first time. I do like these sort of washed out flowers. Sorry if my hands went off there. I'm truly excited to have your company. As I shared many times, when I read a comment, it just makes my heart genuinely sing, because we're all in this together, and the fact that many of you are spending some of your precious time with me means so much. That's probably looking quite strange because this is a real contrast, but we will work on that. So let's play around with some ideas here. I probably need to get rid of a bit more of this white. So this is really bare bones, and I suppose I want to share this with you because the beauty of slow stitching and doing all of these things is that, well, I like that you can do some when you feel like it and then just leave it for a while and then come back to it. So I don't want to cover that. It's this notion of circles and flowers and then an accent and then a layering and then a flower within a flower. Okay, so why don't I start with this if I still... So I got these today, 5 at the Sewing Basket sale, really new colours for me. And they're cotton, and that's probably all I know about it. But I'm going to open again, and then I'm going to use some of this variegation. Now, if nature was being kind to my tired self, I should be able to find... Please don't judge me for my inability to... Oh, I did find an end. There we go. I have to admit I haven't used this sort of cotton yet. But let's see what we can do here. So I'm bringing it up from the back. And I'm just going to go up and down around these petals. This nice strong orange colour. Obviously my thread's too long. So much that you can't even see that stitch, which was a shame. So let's make some adjustments as we go along. So really I would be wishing that this was... Oh, does this happen to you? A more visible stitch in this first row, but it's turning out to be like an invisible stitch. But not to worry, we will get round soon enough. And then embellish. So one of those little knots. There we are. We're not going to let anything worry us because this is about just enjoying the process. Okay, so sort of round, and now I want to highlight this with, the same running stitch around the edge. So this is actually a cotton, I realise now. It's like almost like I could be crocheting with this cotton. So I'm just trying to highlight this idea of a circle around that little piece. Bring your tail up. Okay, I'm just going to go around another, and then we're going to add in another piece. So remember, this is just about the first layers, and I tend to just put things down, knowing that we can embroider over the top. I could highlight more of those petals, but now as we go from flower to flower, let's change stitches. And now I'm just going to go literally up and down. And this is a bit thicker because it's like a nylon-y thread. But the aim is just to so if I go back to telling my story about today, it was just so much fun to share a common goal of making and looking for a bargain together. So if any of you are in Sydney or close by, I think the sale continues tomorrow and Sunday. They are refilling all the time because we were worried about how they would manage their stocks. But while we were there, it was constant. So we need to say congratulations to the Sewing Bee for their management or sewing basket of that. By the end, and the end was lunchtime for us. We were sort of standing at our favourite table waiting for the next load of goodies to arrive. Beautifully set up. Do not hesitate to go if you get the chance. Okay. Apologies if there's shadow, but I think that should be okay. So you've got the idea. I'm going around here. Make this beautiful flower sing. I've actually never done a piece that has started with pink under here. So that's my stretching myself still. Just get this thread done. And then we might put a third piece on, finish with a few lines of cantha, and look forward to where we start. So K Can't Stop Stitching is not going to be a series of the same project. You can see those probably in my when I do the Roxy prompts, and in particular pouches for journals, but this is going to be random like me, and I'm just going to pick up different pieces and work on them without expectation, put it that way, meaning who knows where they will end and whether you'll ever see them again, but you may. So I'm getting the feel that this will be like a spring garden made up of a combination of all different pieces. I think next time I'm just looking down here to see. I think I shared this with some of you yesterday, and I'm sorry if it hurts you to see doilies be reimagined, but I saw so many doilies that had to be rescued today that I just actually feel I'm feeling more and more strongly, I think, about our ability to use these beautiful, the absolute love and joy of others to make new treasures. So as I go around this, if you're new to me, I love using the edges of where the holes are already there on embroideries and doilies, because I think I love that interplay of dots and the ease of the holes, if that makes sense. Oh, that one's a bit hard, so let's try a different one. Yeah. I'm not sure I like that bit there. Now, did we have another bit of the flannel before? Let's see what we can do. I saw someone share how they cut circles and rectangles the other day. It was so brilliant, but I've just forgotten it, so I'm just doing that. And I'm thinking, so we've got all these different textures and colors and gardening going on. So let's go around this way. As I said at the start, I hope you are well. I hope you are enjoying your making. And I'm hoping you have time on the weekend to do some things for you. actually am enjoying this cotton. It's nice and sort of striking. If I have a bit of time, I'll go back to my variegated thread now. Let's work out how are we going to get over there. I think we're going to go this way, and you can see that all of these fabrics are different textures, and I just sort of check in that we're going basically in a way where they'll all sit together and be happy. And so we're attaching one flower to another flower. That's not a flower. Just going to see if I can try and make this a little bit rounder. I think I'm supposed to have cut a square and then round the corners, but in my imperfect world, not quite like that. Okay, so some big stitches here. And so the idea of going around this flower is the same, but already by using two different coloured cottons and over different texture, it's feeling different. There you go. That's perfect. Well, it's not perfect, but the whole intention of putting that little bit there was to help me cover that angle. And we will weave it into some sort of flower or embellishment later on. So we're going to pause after this, we'll get to the top, have a quick recap on the pieces. I haven't got as far as I may have thought I would. I haven't used my new threads, but stay tuned. They will be out for you shortly. Okay. I've taken away just so I can show you that I do like to finish things off. But without the needle threader, that's too hard. Okay, so this is the beginning, the very beginning of a piece that will end up having lots and lots of layers. It will be a companion for something like this. So we will embellish and add. We will celebrate our colours. And I'm hoping, sort of like me today, that you can't stop stitching either. So that's the nest sort of being tidied by Kate to say good night, happy weekend, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.